Yep, those 5 Catholic men, I think probably informed more by their maleness than their Catholicism, but in the Hobby Lobby case, arguably informed by both, since they decided that birth control is a different form of medicine than, for example, insulin or transfusions. These 5 men who have elevated themselves, well, the court has elevated itself, arguably, since Dred Scott, to the role of constitutional monarch, have come down with 2 decisions today of what should be minor consequence. It should be that these decisions should have been done the way that Abraham Lincoln treated Dred Scott. Abraham Lincoln, you'll recall, Dred Scott, Roger Taney in 1856, we had the, quote, slavery problem. And Roger Taney, the Chief Justice, thought he would solve it once and for all by simply declaring from the bench that African Americans were property, not people. That was the Dred Scott decision. It was the second time in the history of the court at that point, in 1856, the second time, only the second time, that the court had used the power it took onto itself in 1803, the first time in the case of Marbury versus Madison, to strike down a law or create doctrine. Now they do virtually nothing but. And by the way, Dred Scott did not work out all that well. And the way that Lincoln responded to it was he said, well, you know, it's a terrible thing for poor Mr. Scott, but I'm going to free the rest of the slaves. I'm going to ignore what the Supreme Court said in large terms. I can't free Mr. Scott because the court has ruled, but I'm going to free everybody else. So, anyhow, Sam Bennett is with us. Sam is a political strategist, author of a forthcoming book, Ascend. Her Twitter is @SamBennett, BENNETT, says, SAYS. And Sam, what's the website you're using these days?
Can I humbly admit it isn't up yet? But
okay, sure. Shortly. I'm sorry. I thought we just had a typo here.
No. It's Sam Bennett at info, and it should be up.
Yeah. Okay.
Momentarily, but it's been delayed.
Okay. Well, that's fine. When you get it up, let us know. We'll plug it. You know, you've been a guest. I don't know if you've been on our radio show before. You've been on my TV show regularly for years.
Yes.
And you are one of the go-to experts on women's issues, and I'm curious your take on the Hobby Lobby case. You just heard mine.
You failed to mention my favorite reason for ridiculous rulings like this is good old garden variety sexism, right? If this was an issue that impacted men, I would argue the results would have been very different.
Yeah, had it been paying for vasectomies, for example.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
And this was,
which ironically, right, are covered, right?
Yes, they are. Male birth control is covered. Maybe tubal ligation is covered too. I don't know, but it's excuse me. So, in fact, Louise came in and she was. I don't know if she's still here or not. She had to run out and run an errand. But her first comment was, "Remember Sarah Bradwell? We are still property." And the Sarah Bradwell, famously, I wrote about her in Unequal Protection in as I recall, 83 or thereabouts, 1887. She got her lawyer's license in Chicago and went, one of the first women to get a lawyer's license, and went into court representing a defendant that she had that had hired her. And the judge looked down from the bench and said, "You're a woman. You can't be in my court," and kicked her out. And she took that all the way to the Supreme Court and lost. And the Supreme Court ruled that, actually, I've got the ruling here, and I will read that in a moment while I look it up. But you give me your take on how this Bradwell case this Hobby Lobby case is going to affect women.
Well, clearly, one of the great wins of the Affordable Health Care Act was its provisions for women, and there were some very powerful women activists who worked very, very hard to make sure that this very landmark piece of legislation included women in equal terms to men. And I think it's one of the big landmark achievements of it. So now we have that sort of, one would argue, inevitable whittling away at that And what's the raison d'etre? Well, I would always blame garden variety sexism. Clearly, we have powerful forces within the Catholic Church at play here, and the evangelical church movement. And it's sad because, and in fact, Sandra Fluke, now running for senator, right, in California, sort of cut her national chops on this very issue, right? Yeah. How can a religiously affiliated university restrict her rights as a woman to access to her health care options? And so I think what we have, the roll down is we're going to see lots more of this. And I would hope at the end of the day, Tom, that we will see a correction. I would predict the correction is going to be this. Okay, the reason this provision is in the Affordable Health Care Act is because an overwhelming number of Americans receive their health insurance through employer health care plans. Okay, you don't like that? You want to make sure that women are unfavorably treated if they're part of a employer-backed health care plan? Okay, we can fix that. We're going to give them access, all of them, to government health care plans. So in a way, the sort of forces that would like to see women's access to reproductive choices and options and healthcare decisions restricted are also the same folks that really don't want to see quote-unquote socialized medicine or government-backed options. But guess what? That's what's going to happen for women in order for them to have equitable.
So you're saying that the solution to this decision is a legislative one, and that the legislation should be that a small category of health insurance is created, something like women's health or women's reproductive needs, and that it be basically fully funded by the government, a single-payer healthcare system, and it apply to everybody in the country.
That's exactly right, because what's going to happen is there's going to be an enterprising woman, the next Sandra Fluke, right? And because what's going to happen is you're going to have a two-tier healthcare plan, options for men and women, which is discriminatory.
Right.
That's going to be challenged, and the solution I would predict, doesn't mean I'm right, is going to be, okay, we can't force your employer-backed plan because of the Supreme Court or other decisions to have these provisions that give you equitable health care. Okay, well, here's the trapdoor, here's the escape hatch. You, by definition of being a woman and wanting to have equal coverage to men, guess what? You're the happy winner. You get to have this part of this, the same program the VA has, or,
there you go.
Get it.
That would work. By the way, what the Supreme Court said in 1873 in Bradwell v. Illinois. The family institution is repugnant to the idea of a woman adopting a distinct and independent career from that of her husband. So firmly fixed was this sentiment in the founders of the common law that it became a maximum of that system of jurisprudence that a woman has no legal existence separate from her husband, who is regarded as her head and representative in the social and legal state. Supreme Court.
Well, we've made a little bit of progress.
A little bit. I mean, it was 40 years after that women got the vote. I mean, African Americans already had the vote at that point. People think that sexism is a small thing. This is no small thing.
No, and actually, that's a beautiful example you just pointed. A woman I admire tremendously, the current chair of the CBC Congressional Black Caucus, Congresswoman Marsha Fudge, who was a supporter of Hillary over Obama, and got an understandable amount of pushback on that one. When Obama beat Hillary, she famously said, "I never thought that I would see the day when sexism trumped racism."
Yeah, I'm with you. Sam Bennett, thanks so much for being with us, Sam.
My pleasure. You take care, Tom.
Thanks.